Hey guys, it's Rich with your Monday Spot and Pagan Perspective. This week we're basically giving our resources. The person that wrote in this week wanted us to talk specifically on Celtic deities, traditions, mythologies, and such. However, not all of us deal in that. So basically the second part of it is share what you're reading, any websites, videos, blogs, such, share those. So basically I'm going to do a small book review. It's not going to be an extensive one. I have 6 books here. Now, a little bit about me is that you need to know that I don't really get a chance to sit down and read for a long period of a time. If I actually get to sit down and read, it might be a page at a time, and then I have to put the book down, go to bed, or go do something else. I don't usually sit down and read and read and read. I know some people on this channel, Cara in particular, is actually a much faster reader than I am. And you can tell that by the amount of books that she has and that she has read. So, since I don't have a lot of time to sit down and read, and since I am a slower reader than most, I am still going through some of these books, and I have the full intention of actually reading through these books. So, without any further ado, one thing that you guys do know about me is that I'm very much into communing with spirits, and in particular my ancestors. And one book that I came across that I found very intriguing, I'm about probably halfway through or so, is The Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day. This is not a beginner's book by any means. I would not suggest it to somebody who is just now beginning to commune with spirits, or that is just wanting to dabble. Definitely don't buy this book if that is your intention. It is not something that is to be played around with. It's not something to be foolhardy about. Please take it seriously. If you intend to do any of these exercises, please do them with the amount of respect that should be given to the dead. After all, they still are people too. So, whenever you are reading with this book, make sure that you read it with a sort of reverence and an honor to the dead. Don't read it and say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna, go on a Ouija board or do one of these exercises and commune with somebody and then make fun of it, and laugh about it." No. It is something very serious. Take it seriously, or don't do it at all. So, that is one thing that I will say about this book. Please be able to commit to it. The only reason I haven't fully committed to doing the exercises in this book, and I've started to do one exercise, and it turned out very nice. I had a lot of a lot of comfort from it, and it was very fulfilling for me. But since I don't have all the time in my life right now to commit to doing something like this on a regular basis, I won't actually fully commit to it yet. I will do an exercise to prepare myself for it, so I know what to expect down the road. So, again, The Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day. Pretty good read. The guy knows a lot. And like I said, whenever I actually get to the point where I'm more capable of devoting more time to it, this is something that I will be doing in the future. Another one, this is a fairly easy read. I haven't gotten to read all of it, but it's the Christian Witch's Handbook. Like I said, it's pretty easy to read, pretty, everyday language that's written in. Fairly easy read. This is by H. Fuller Hutchinson, and it's more of a Christian-based book with pagan and Wiccan undertones. So if that's your path, go for it. It's more of a beginner's book too, so if you're more of an advanced in your practice, you might want to read it just to see what other people's take is on the subject, but if you're more of an advanced one and you don't want to go like kind of backtrack or relearn some information, then that book probably isn't for you. This is one that I've been looking for a long time. I finally got it off of Amazon. It's Christian Wicca, the Trinitarian Tradition by Nancy Chandler Pittman. This is one of the founders of the Christian Wiccan movement, and one that's one of the few that's actually put something like this in print. So this one is a big one within not necessarily my path, but in other Christian pagan paths out there. So if you have any interest, this is probably a good book for you to read. I haven't gotten to read it yet, even though I've been looking for it for a long time at a good price. Again, finally found it on Amazon. So this is one that's on my to-read list. Another one on my to-read list is from Joyce and River Higginbotham. Sorry, I'm trying to speak really fast because the last time I did a video, or did this video, it was insanely long, like 13 minutes. I'm going to try to cut it down by a lot. So this one is Christo-Paganism by Joyce and River Higginbotham. An Inclusive Path. I have not gotten to actually read this book. I'm very intrigued by this, and I really do want to read this. And I'm actually going to make a commitment to y'all that by the end of June, whenever I do my end of June video, that I'm actually going to have this book done for y'all. It is, and showing you how slow a reader I am, this is actually 274 pages long, not including all the extra little appendices and all that in the back. So I'm going to try to actually have this done, which is actually a big feat for me. So I'm going to try to have that one done by the end of June, so I can give you guys a solid yes or no on this one. But it seems very intriguing to me, and I really do want to read this one. Another one, I have read things by this author. He does a lot of gay and gay male type of books and resources. And this one is from Michael Thomas Ford, Gay Men, Wicca, and Living a Magical Life, The Path of the Green Man. This is one that, again, he is a fairly good author. He writes in a plain language that's easy to understand, and he seems to be pretty well learned. I've read one other book by this author, and I enjoyed it. So this is one that I'm actually pretty intrigued to start reading. For any of you homosexual males out there who don't know where you fit in the whole pagan community, this would probably be a good resource for you. Again, it is the Gay Men, Wicca, and Living a Magical Life, The Path of the Green Man. Again, another Amazon find. Most of these are Amazon finds, by the way. So that's been something I've been doing lately, is going on Amazon and buying some books for me to read, and also selling some as well. And then a little thing that I want to tell y'all is that I have thought of writing a book on my path, because it's so odd and so out there, and there's not a lot of people that practice the same path as me. And at least for any Christian Wiccan out there, or Christo-Pagan, or Christian Witch, whatever you label yourself, there's not many resources out there for somebody in our path. So I would like to actually write a book on what my path is, and try to help the people that come after me, within the pagan community, to kind of understand, maybe bridge the gap between Christianity and paganism, so maybe we can at least understand one another and kind of get along and not feel so isolated, because sometimes Christo-Pagans do feel isolated. And I'm sorry, but that is the 8 o'clock bell. It's going to ring like 8 times, so I'm going to just keep on trying to go through this while the bell rings. And like I was saying, this is a book that I have not gotten to read yet, but whenever I write my book, this is going to be a chapter in it that's actually going to have to be written, even though I haven't been in a coven, a circle, study group, or anything like that. And if I am not in one by that time, then I will have to consult others about coven practice or study groups and the like. So this one is Covencraft, Witchcraft for 3 or More by Amber Kay. And again, it's a pretty extensive book, so it's going to take a while. This is more, probably for me, more of a reference book than a read it straight through type book. And the appendices are numerous. So yeah, it's well over 300 pages, and eventually I'll get to sit down and read something like this. But again, that's going to be a chapter in my book. I have tried to start up a coven, a study group, or something along those lines, but never really came to fruition. So again, with my busy life, I don't know how I'm going to find the time, but it would be something that I would love to be in, something with like-minded people that worship the same way or in a similar way that I do. I think it would be a kind of a breath of fresh air to get other people's perspectives within a group, and to be able to practice with other people in the same group. So that's all that I have for this week. Next week, you guys are going to have the subs. So I also want to say Happy Memorial Day out there to all those in the States. I do want to say that if you thank a veteran and they kind of feel uneasy, don't be dismayed, because we kind of don't know how to respond to that all the time. It's kind of a weird feeling whenever somebody thanks you for something that somebody else has done. So if you do thank a veteran on a Memorial Day, which is very normal, then you might get that like uneasy thank you type response. So if you get something like that, don't take it hard. But also, just in general, if you're in the U.S., thank a veteran, or at very least thank those who have gone before us, who gave the ultimate sacrifice. After all, it is Memorial Day, so we are more celebrating those who have passed, that were soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors, what have you. So, happy Memorial Day. I hope you all have a great week. Thank a veteran, light a candle for those who have gone on before us. I don't want to get on a big rant, so I'm going to leave it with have a great day and a better tomorrow, and may your ancestors be with you. Bye-bye.